I wanted to talk about today a concept that I don't really see talked about too much, but it's a problem that good dudes, legitimately good dudes, not just doormats or people pleasers or manipulative nice guys, but legitimately good dudes, an issue they have with BPD women and other women who have had, let's say, a traumatic or chaotic upbringing. And the issue is this. It applies to both those kinds of women, by the way. BPD women, of course, more so. But the issue is, a lot of those kinds of women, they do not know how to handle healthy love. They do not know how to handle an emotionally mature relationship. And there's reasons for this. Usually it's because in their upbringing, there's a lot of trauma, and there was a lot of abuse, and a lot of chaos. And those are the things they begin to associate with love. And I have literally had a woman who has BPD tell me, when I was seeing her, that she had previously dated dudes, and there was not enough emotional stimulation for her. There wasn't enough emotional up and downs, the roller coaster. And it was too stable. And she literally told him one time, yell at me, do something. And so what is she saying? She needs the spikes. She needs the emotional volatility. She needs those ups and downs, or it doesn't feel like love to her. And this is the issue a lot of good dudes, like genuinely good dudes, run into when they find a woman that has had a lot of trauma or has been abused, and God forbid if they're cluster B and have BPD or narcissistic personality disorder, is those women just kind of get bored with a healthy love. And this is why it kind of matters how other families are bringing up their kids too, because I think right now it seems like there's an overwhelming majority of not just women, but guys too, that they come from these traumatic and abusive upbringings. And when that's the case, they do not respond well to healthy love. They don't think they deserve it. And what they do oftentimes is they gravitate towards a dude that reiterates and emphasizes, I guess we'll call it, how she already feels about herself. So she doesn't think she's worthy of that kind of love, and so she gravitates towards dudes that confirm how she already feels about herself. And you see this all the time in people's actions, and these women, they also know, logically they know it's not right. Logically they know they should like the genuine healthy dude, but emotionally they just don't feel it with the genuine healthy dude. But they do feel it with the guy who's a little more of an ass. They do feel it with the guy who provides a lot of emotional spikes and ups and downs. And often drug abuse and alcoholism, they certainly help that process along. And that's why you see a woman who seems otherwise pretty cool, she'll find herself addicted to those kinds of toxic dudes. And there's many reasons for this, and I'm talking about this from an angle that I understand what it's like to be in abusive relationships, so you can't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I didn't realize it at the time either. I'm not going to say it's always easy to break out of this. I'm not saying that at all. And men have a different version of this as well. Men's version of this is they're not attracted as much to the genuine good woman. They need a more of a cluster B type woman because they don't feel it unless they're with that kind of woman. And why is that usually? Because in that guy's background, there's probably some trauma and some abuse. And that's what they need to get themselves emotionally stimulated. And I totally get that because I have some of that in me too. Where a good woman, I logically know this is what I should like, but I certainly don't get that lovey-dovey feeling. And I think part of it as a man is we got to recognize it's not always about that lovey-dovey feeling. Sometimes we got to do what's best for our lives logically and rationally. And the good woman who maybe doesn't bring those emotional ups and downs and the emotional roller coaster and that super chemistry, maybe that would actually be better for our lives. And it's like the Buddhists say. The Buddhists say the one for you is not the one that makes your heart beat 1,000 beats a minute, that makes your palms sweaty. It's the person that you feel at peace and at ease with. And I think that's the concept they are speaking to. And so, to reiterate everything I've been talking about here, with women, until they actually take the steps to heal and to work on themselves, go to some dialectical behavioral therapy, they're going to keep on running into the same issues. And if you're a genuine good dude out there, you can't do this work for them. And the woman has to want to do it on their own. Because you can't help anyone that does not want to help themselves. And it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's very, very true. We can be supportive, but we can't do it for them. And if you're a guy that finds yourself attracted a lot to the cluster B types, the same kind of applies for you too. But what I would say to you is, logically look at it and realize it's not always about that lovey-dovey feeling. It's not always about that super chemistry. All throughout history, there was more of an economy of need in terms of relationships. It was you had to get with someone to make things work. That's not how it is today. How it is today is people get together because they want to. But back in the day, people would get together with people because it was helpful to do so. It pragmatically worked. Like the romantic love thing, that is a luxury problem. Don't get it twisted. It absolutely is a luxury problem. And previously, people just had marriages of convenience. It was seldom that the love was the big component. Maybe amongst the very wealthy, it could have been more likely to be about love. But even then, not so much. So that's just another perspective to put it in. This is how it's different today. So if you're a genuine good dude, and again, I'm not talking about a people pleaser, a wannabe nice guy who's just trying to be manipulative to get a woman in bed, and you find yourself attracted to certain kinds of women and they've had abuse and trauma, and you don't understand why they just can't appreciate it and why they can't return it, this is probably why. It's because they're used to the chaos. They're used to the emotional ups and downs. And if a guy doesn't mimic that when they're an adult, they just don't feel it. Now, the philosophical question is, can you really unprogram yourself so that even if you did have a chaotic, traumatic, and abusive upbringing, can you really prevent yourself and stop yourself from getting that feeling towards certain kinds of people? I'm not sure you can. I think logically you can know it's wrong, but I still get it a little bit. I don't get it with the baseline cluster B girls anymore. I get it a little bit though with the more evolved and self-aware ones. They have that little bit of extra magic. And I totally get, I do have that a little bit. And I don't think those kinds of things would last. I don't think they'll last, and that's logically what I know. But it's not often that I actually get that super duper lovey feeling just towards a genuine good woman. Now, again, like I've said before in previous videos, I'm not attracted to the ones that I've been with in the past. I recognize and see through their nonsense. But there's other versions of this. They're a little more mature and a little more evolved, and they have a little more self-awareness. They're a little trickier. I'll give you that too. But I wanted to talk about this issue here because it's a reason why, if you're a genuine good dude, it might be hard to find someone that's good for you. Because I think the majority of people do indeed have some trauma and abuse, especially with the ever-expanding definition of abuse. And like I said, if they've had that kind of upbringing, they often don't know how to handle it. They do not know how to handle a dude that's actually good. They need the person that's going to bring them the ups and downs and emotional volatility and they almost get addicted to that. And their actions show, most of all, how it really is. So I'd like, if you relate to this video, please let me know what you think about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're a woman, is this you? Are you the person that doesn't really enjoy the good dude? That they don't do enough for you? They don't stimulate your emotions enough? Or are you the guy that you find yourself gravitating towards cluster B for the same reason? That you feel that extra connection with them. You feel that extra attraction and the synergy is just there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, everybody. This is just something I've been musing on lately. So thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.